Hello one and all. In the first video we have discussed about what is SQL and the basic definition of that. In the second video we have discussed what is database, what is the outlook of database, how are rows and columns, and the relation between them. Now you might have some questions from the previous video. Like, can you give any general example for database? How does database is related to our topic SQL? And what is the different SQL operations we can perform against database? From the first question, we can answer like, Excel is the best example for databases and phone books, contacts. Now you might have a question, like, how these are set to be general example. If you take in an Excel sheet, we have dataset of data that can be related to each other and coming to the second example, phone book or contact list, which is a collection of mobile numbers and names. If you want to call John, we must dial for the John number, then only the call go to John. Like the way the database columns also represent the properties or relations between the data, and the rows or tuples are get used to fill the data by accomplishing the properties for the second question. We need to perform some SQL operations where we can perform our operations. We need some data for that. Now the data is stored in a database. So that is the way that we can communicate with databases. For the third question, we can perform different type of operations against the database, like getting data from the database, insert, delete, truncate, and so on. We can discuss it more briefly in the later videos. Based on the operations against the database, the SQL statements are categorized into different languages. They are DDL, which is also called as Data Definition Language, DML, which is also called as Data Manipulation Language, DCL, which is also called as Data Control Language, and TCL, which is also called Transaction Control Language. If you are going to discuss about that data definition language, so which is used to define the structure of the database and its schema. It means that, you know, this data definition language comes when we are creating the database or a table. If any operations per in this section of data definition language, it will be reflected on the database as well. So basically, it is related to the schema of the database. There are different types of operations that we can perform under this section. The first one is create, that which is used to create a database or a table. The second one is alter, that which is used to alter the structure of the database. The third one is rename, that which is used to rename the table. The fourth one is the truncate, that which can be used to delete all the data in the table. The second one is the data manipulation language. Data manipulation language is used to manipulate the data that is present in the table. So, in this way we can play with the data in different ways. There are different types of operations that we can perform under this section. Select, that which is used to get the data from the database. Sometimes this select statement is also called as data query language. Insert, the name itself says that we are going to use it to insert the data to the table or the database. Delete, it used to delay single data, multiple data, or whole data merge. Merge is used to combine different operations in the select query. Combination of insert, delete, update call, which is used to call the stored procedures. If you don't know what stored procedures is, don't worry, we can discuss it later in videos. Explain plan, which returns execution plans for select, insert, delete, update statements. Data control language, the name itself, saying that it is controlled language, which means which given permissions revoke permissions. Based on the user, not only the user, but it also controls some of the operations as well in the database system. Then after operations are there, one is the grant, that which is used to give permission or privileges to the user or thing. Another one is revoke, that which is used to get back permissions which were given by grant. Transaction control language. In transaction control language is single unit of work that which have the multiple statement transactions. In this, if any one of the transaction fails, then the whole transaction also fails. We can say multiple transactions in the sense collection of different type of statements. It contains 4 commands. Commit, which is used to save the transaction. Rollback, which is used to get back the transaction. Save point, sets a save point within the transaction. Set transaction, used to specify the characteristics of transaction.